What's good? What's good? Let me get my double check up here, make sure that I am live and good to go. I am in this episode of the podcast um, going to show something that was inspired by what I saw in a trailer composer group on Facebook, and it will be using ChatGPT for sound design. So I just want to make sure I have my video feed going here on YouTube so that if there are any comments that come through, it is super early, but I will let this live on, and we're gonna dive in because I did a test yesterday, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I'm gonna show you the post first. I'm gonna jump over to Facebook. This is Lee Darkin Miller from the Trailer Composers Facebook group. Gotta love ChatGPT. Here are detailed instructions for creating Bram, Riser sounds in Serum, and he goes through all those different settings. So I don't have Serum. Actually, I do have a free version of Serum, but I don't really use Serum. I'm not too familiar with Serum altogether, or like synthesis. So what I did was I went to ChatGPT and I asked it to give me the settings for a sound for Alchemy and Vital. So I'll do one in this video. I don't think I'll get to both. I just want to save some time and just show you how to go about the process. So here I am in ChatGPT, and again, you can use any probably AI if you use what is out there, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude. But there's the prompt I put in, nothing too crazy. I want to create a custom Brahms sound in the Vital synth. Tell me the settings to adjust to create a Brahms sound for trailer music. And then I hit that button, and it's going to give me the settings to adjust in Vital. So if you're not familiar with Vital, I chose Vital because it is a free synth, and also it's not tied to a DAW. Like I also did this in Alchemy, which is only for Logic Pro. But we're gonna go through these settings in Vital. Again, I'm not the best like synthesis sound designer when it comes to using these wavetable synths and oscillators and things like that. So this is a great way to not only figure out how to do it, but also to learn if you want to do it in the future. So let's see, did it stop the instructions? Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to open up Logic, which I already have open. I'm going to load up Vital Synth. What I like about the updated Logic is I can now search for synths in here, or search for instruments. So this is Vital Synth. I actually have a new a custom skin on there that I downloaded. Not a custom, but somebody created this. It's the red skin. Red skin. I won't go in changing the skin right now, but it doesn't look like this when you download it by default. But hopefully it doesn't throw you off too much. I just like this sort of skin here. If I can figure out how to get back to I don't even remember how to get back to the other one. I will zoom in a little bit. Let's see. Can we get to that might be good. 200 is probably going to be too much. So we'll do 135. I think everything's on the screen there. And we're going to just be here in this synth. So what we're going to do is we're going to just follow the instructions and try to figure out. Again, I'm not too familiar with sound design. Usually I just go in here and get a preset and be on my merry way. So this might take me a little bit of time. So we're going to start step one, oscillators. We're going to look for oscillator one, and we're going to select sawtooth or distorted saw. So oscillator one, it's right here. So our oscillators are over here on the left. So oscillator one, I'm going to go here and I'm going to search for just a saw. We have quad saw. Let me just load that up, and there we go. We're going to play that. Hopefully it's not too loud. And then, or distorted. So I like the saw. Detune, set the moderate detune for thickness around 8 to 16 voices with a slight detune spread. So let's look for detune here. I see unison. I see spectral morph. I'm going to go set that back to default, which was 50. So I do see some pitch here. Let's do this tune here. That's actually, is that the detune? Let's see if I play C and I do tune. So I might detune that like by, let's just say -12. And again, I'm just making this up as we go along. The settings might be somewhere more advanced in here, but we're just going to see if we can get a decent idea going. So bear with me. So let's say I'm happy with that. Lower the octave to -2 or -3 for a deep sound. So let's see, lower the octave. So if I go here, transpose, I'm going to go to an octave down, and we'll leave it at that. Again, I'm just doing my interpretation of what I think these sounds are. So oscillator 2 is optional, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and turn that on. And they say for oscillator 2, choose a sine or triangle wave for sub-bass reinforcement. So we're going to go to, it said choose a sine or triangle. So if I type in sine, I have Vital Sine 2. Let's see what this sounds like. I want to mute this one. I like that. Vital Sine 2. So we chose that for sub-bass reinforcement. Set octave to -2 or -3 to complement the first oscillator. So I'm going to set this down to, there might be an octave thing here. Unison voices. Let me turn this down to 1. Actually, let me go back to the first one. Did it say do 8 to 16 voices. That's for detune. So we're gonna just keep going. Let's go back to number 1. It said the detune around 8 to 16 voices. So let's do 8, and let me play the first one again. Ooh, okay, now I see what's happening. Again, I'm learning this as I'm doing this live. And we can turn this up. I'll put it at 20%. All right, let's go back to oscillator 2. Go back down to oscillator 2. Now we say choose a sign of triangle set -2 to complement the first oscillator. So this is number 2. That is really low. Mix, blend this subtly with oscillator 1. So there's a level option here. So again, if it says mix, if it doesn't have that exact button, which it probably does somewhere here, I just don't know where to look, I can just use level. So let's balance these 2 oscillators. And I might even want this up an octave. Let's see. I'm debating whether I want it up or down an octave. Let's go back here. You know what? I'll leave it down an octave for now. All right, that's oscillator 2, I believe, right? All right, let's go to oscillator 3. Again, all these are optional, but it's a great way. I'm learning about this plugin. I'm learning about sound design, so it's a lot happening that we're learning just from using AI to tell you what settings to select. So oscillator 3, optional. Let's go to oscillator 3, and what does it say? Use a wavetable with metallic or distorted textures for added grit. A metallic or FM wave. So let's see if I type in FM. So we have FM pluckers, subtle FM, FM pulsator, hollow distorted FM, and then if I type in metallic, I don't see metallic. So we'll go FM, hollow distorted, get more wavetables from that guy. I want to solo this one, so I'm gonna just mute those. Again, I like that sound. So fine tune and blend it lightly for color. Fine tune, meaning I could adjust the tune here. Let's go up a couple. And if I wanted again to add some more of this, again, because I learned about that from the first oscillator, and then we'll blend this to the other 3. So I might turn it down and bring it in a little bit. So we'll turn the level down. So you start to hear sort of the Brahm effect coming through, but we're not done yet. So let's go down to step 2, filters. The filters, I believe, are here. We have filter 1 and 2. So let's figure out what they're talking about for filter 1. Low pass to tame the high end while retaining worth. So we're going to go to, it looks like it's already set to low pass, meaning we're going to have a cutoff. It might tell me the cutoff. Automate the filter cutoff for movement. Oscillator 1. Let's put it right about there. Well, it's not set to any oscillators yet. And then use filter 1, set to a moderate level to create a slightly hollow sound resonance. So that would be right here. I see the cutoff. Okay, so the resonance would be this axis here. So let me bring this to right about here. Again, it's not really affecting, it is affecting oscillator 1. And then it says about resonance, set to a moderate level to create a hollow sound. Again, there are people that know way more than what I'm doing here. So this is just me just messing around with these settings really fast, actually. Automate the filter cutoff for movement. So that I haven't done yet. We have analog. This is the 12 dB. We'll leave that alone. Filter 1. All right. Let's go down to resonance. Filter, assign an LFO or envelope to the cutoff for dynamic sweeps. So I have LFO over here. I can drag the LFO over to the cutoff for dynamic sweeps. The cutoff is right there. So if I drag this, see this little like directional arrow, everything that lights up is things that can be automated by this LFO. So I'm going to drag this to the, I think the cutoff there. And let's see. So it's sort of being automated. I could have this play a little longer. So we'll do this by maybe and I can adjust the cutoff more. Actually, we'll do. So you have that option. If we do 16th, it'll be faster. So I started creating like a pulse there. Anyway, that's something there. Again, I'm just messing around with things that I think I should be doing here. And of course, we can tweak after. So step 3, envelopes. So we're going to go to amplitude envelope 1. I'm going to look for an envelope, ENV1 there. Do I see that anywhere else? I don't think so. It's all right. Envelope 1. Short to medium, attack will be 0.1 to 0.5 seconds. So this is attack here. So we're going to go to about halfway through, like 0.25. And then decay, long decay for trailing off, 1 to 2 seconds. So we're going to go to decay, maybe about 1.5 seconds. And then sustain, low to medium for impact, 30 to 50%. Sustain, we're going to bring that down to that's 1. So we're going to do 50%-ish, maybe 40% there. Release, medium to long, 1 to 2 seconds. So release, we're going to do about 1.5. 1.5. And this is what we have so far. Is it a Brahm? I don't know. And again, I only have oscillator 1. Let's play all 3 to see where we are right now. This LFO is a little too fast, so maybe we bring it down. Something like that. All right. So filter envelope 2. That was envelope 1. Let's go to, this was amplitude envelope. I actually didn't do filter envelope. So that's envelope 2, but this is filter 2, but not the envelope. So let me find amplitude envelope 1. That's envelope 1. This is not a filter envelope, but let's see. Fast attack and decay with a slight sustain for total shaping. So we'll do fast attack and decay. Fast attack would be down there. Fast decay would be down there. And then we will do slight sustain for tonal shaping, something like that. Assign this to the filter cutoff to add a bunch of movement. So again, we're going to assign this to the filter cutoff. So is something happening there? Probably. It sounds way better. Loop Elements Pro, the ultimate tool for producers, musicians, and live performance. I am so sexy. Thank you for tuning in and dropping a comment. All right. So that's filter envelope 2. Again, I am just doing what I think it's saying to do. This is like totally off the record. Somebody in the comments or that watches the video might be like, oh, you missed that one setting. I get it. I'm not, again, really heavy into sound design, but this is a great way to learn. So let's do the effects here. Step 4, effects. Distortion. So there are built-in effects. If we go to effects here, and we're going to put these, where's distortion? Right here. I think we'll do it in the order that they say, maybe. So I can rearrange these. So I can put this at the top and I can turn it on. And let's see, add a heavy distortion effect for grit and power. Heavy distortion effect for grit and power. Let's go hard clip. Tube or soft clip for warm aggression. Tube or soft clip for warm aggression. I'll do soft clip and heavy distortion. We'll play this without, and we'll play it with. There is no filter here. We'll do post. So you start to hear the sound design. Sounding Brahmish. All right, we'll do reverb. Use a large hall reverb to create depth in space. So we're going to bring in, this is all just built into Vital. Again, this is a free synth. So you can spend, I don't know how long this video has been so far, 10, 20 minutes just designing these sounds, using AI to tell you how to design it. Use a large hall reverb to create depth in space. So I'm going to go, I have the reverb. Let's just make this large. And it already sounds pretty large, pause. I really like that. Let me see what it tells me to do. Moderate to high, 40 to 60% for cinematic impact. So we'll do 40-ish%. And we can adjust these as needed, but I like that. So let's add subtle chorus for width. Is there a chorus here? There is. Subtle chorus for width. Let's see, subtle. That is not subtle at all, but I'm gonna play that. That's insane. 16 voices. We're going to change the mix down. All right. Apply a multiband compressor to balance the sound and emphasize the low. So we have a compressor here. It says multiband. It is multiband. Let's see what this. We have low band, high band, single band. And what does it say do for multiband compression? Apply a multiband compressor to balance the sound and emphasize the lows. Again, this is me just winging it off of these instructions. EQ. Let's see. There is EQ. Typically, I put EQ at the top. I might still do that. Let's see what it's saying. Boost low frequencies around 50 to 150. So let's say we're gonna boost 100 by about 3 dB. And that is, let's see, we'll get this to about, see, 3 dB. I don't see the frequency. What is it called? I don't see the frequency. I just see low. So we have low, slightly cut mids. But that's fine. For this one, we'll do. It says slightly cut mids, 200, 600 to avoid muddiness. So what I don't see is the actual frequency that this is affecting. So I could put another EQ on there if I wanted to, but I'm trying to keep it all within the plugin. So it is what it is. And then boost the highs for presence. Let's go here. Something like that. All right, modulation. Is that a thing here? We might have to go back to over here. We're looking for modulation. So whatever these settings are, we gotta look for whatever. So we're looking for LFOs and macros. So assign LFO1, which I think I did already. Assign LFO1 to oscillator pitch for slightly wobble. So let's oscillator, which one? Oscillator pitch. So I see LFO1 here. We can assign it to multiple parameters. I see oscillator here. I see pitch, but it doesn't say which one. So let's just go to this one. We'll do the detune. There's nothing really happening there. We'll do the pitch on all of them. So I believe that's doing something, but we'll see. Rate slow around 0.1 to 0.2 hertz. Let's go to trigger mode, sync. We'll leave that alone for now. Again, I'm still learning. So is that doing something? I hear a little bit of things adjusting. And definitely way better than where we started. Use another LFO to modulate the filter cutoff for movement. So I do see filter cutoff, which I think we already did some of that, but we'll do LFO2 and we'll do cutoff down here. And we'll see what LFO2 is looking like. Maybe we'll change this to staircase down. And maybe we'll have it more dramatic. Again, just using AI to give me sound design elements. We're on step 5, but what I put in was I want to create a custom Brahms sound in the Vital Synth. Tell me the settings to adjust to create a Brahms sound for trailer music. So we've just been going through these steps, and you can create custom sound design. Again, once you figure this stuff out, you can probably do it in like 5-10 minutes. I'm still learning, so it's going to take me like 30 minutes. We're at step 5. So I did that. So I could set up macros if I wanted to automate, just to show you what that looks like. Set up macros to control the filter cutoff, reverb, distortion drive. So these are macros over here. So what I could do is go to sort of our effects. Let's say reverb mix. I can take macro 1 and go over to reverb mix and drop that there. So now this macro is supposed to adjust the reverb mix. Let me make sure. Reverb mix. So all the way down, all the way up. And then if I wanted to, I could probably learn a MIDI assignment. If I had a knob here that I could turn, let's see. I have a knob on my keyboard. You can't really see my hand right now, but I'm turning the knob on my keyboard, and that would affect that macro. So let's see, what was the other macro they said? Set up macros, reverb mix, distortion drive. So let's go to macro 2. And we'll call that distortion drive, and we'll turn that up. And I can label it too. I can say distortion drive, and this could be reverb mix, something like that. What was the other one? Filter cutoff. Set up macros to control the filter cutoff. So I can do macro 3, and I can go back to over here, macro 3, and I can set this to filter cutoff. And we can label this, oops, this one, filter cutoff. So, and if I wanted, even though I have the LFO doing some stuff with the filter already, so that might be a moot point, but just showing you what you can do. And now layering. For added depth, layer the vital patch with a sub bass sound, a metallic impact sample, a noise texture for high end detail. So let's say I wanted to layer this. So this is all the effects. So we'll call this Vital Synth. I created that using the instructions from ChatGPT. Let's say I want to go to just Logic Stock, Alchemy, stereo. And you know what? I'm going to record this Vital Synth sound. We'll make it maybe whatever this bar is. I'm going to hit record. And why don't I hear it? What happened to the instrument? So we'll let it be what that is. Let me play that. Again, this was created using AI, ChatGPT giving me instructions on how to create this sound. And even better, let me convert this to audio. Vital Synth Brahm. So now it's audio. And if I were to start like a trailer idea with that, we could add a sub bass sound. Let me go here. I could use Vital again, but we're gonna go to Alchemy and I'll just type in sub and we'll do bass. And let's see what we got. Sub bass. That's kind of cool. I don't want the pulse though, so maybe something like that. And I'll just play that note. Actually, I'm just gonna copy this and off. I do want this muted up here. So you have the sub bass sound, add metallic impact sample. So I can go to, let me just go to, let's see, do they have any impacts here? Alien impact. We have this sound from, this is, I guess, Logic Stock. And I can turn that down. So now we have this. Maybe even, maybe layer with another impact. Again, I am just winging this. Again, there are people in the composer space, trailer music space that can do this stuff in like 5 minutes flat. All right, what else do we have? Noise texture for high end detail. So I'm gonna figure out if there's a noise thing here in something like that. And maybe I want to have this fade in here. I do want the beginning part though. Noise texture. And hopefully it'll crossfade by itself. And actually I want this to be around here. All right, let's play this again. So let's say I wanted to bounce all this into a sound. I'll do Control B. We'll say Brahm custom. So now I have this custom Brahm sound, and if I wanted to like build an idea out of this, I could go here and build. And I can start building like an idea. So let's say I want to do 4 bars. Again, I don't want this video to be too long, so we're going to create this 4-bar loop with this Brahm sound, and how you can build it out with I'll just do a percussion thing really quick. So I'm going to build this thing out. Pause. You can stop the video here if you want to, but just showing you how I can create that custom Brahm sound that no one else will have, because I put these sounds together myself. I mean, someone else could technically do all of that and use the same sounds and the same tempo and everything, but the likelihood is really low. So I'm going to build out like a really quick track. Give me like, it's 10:52. Let's see what I can do by 11. 8 minutes. Here we go. Timing is off, as you can see how you can start building out something. This is all from building this custom Brahm using Vital Synth, some Logic stock sounds. So yeah, let me get that timing right because I want to get this thing perfect. I don't know if I'm going to do something with this, but I really like how I can use that as a launching point, using that custom sound design to build out a track. Soul tape. So when I post this video, if you rewind it, you will see how I use ChatGPT to create this sound in Vital Synth. I use it to create this sound. And then it gave me all the instructions. I went through these steps. It took me like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to build this sound in Vital. So my prompt was, I want to create a custom Brahm sound in the Vital Synth. Tell me the settings to make that happen. You could use, I've done something similar. And again, this was inspired by this post in the Trailer Composer group on Facebook by Lee Darkin Miller. Gotta love ChatGPT, where he used it for Serum. So you could use it for Serum. These are the instructions it gave him. I used it for Vital because I don't have the paid version of Serum. I have like the free trial version. But I also used this in Alchemy, where I said, give me I want to create a custom whatever sound in Alchemy. Tell me how to set it up and just follow the instructions. Again, it takes a little bit of learning curve. You want to make sure you know your way around the plugin, which I do not know my way around Vital, but I figured it out a little bit to create this sound. Which I'm happy with. So Vital is also a free synth. That Redskin pause. I don't know, pause. But this red sort of look here, that's not what it looks like. This is like a custom skin that you can download and install. It has a default skin. I won't switch to it now because I don't know if it's going to shut down the session. But so I use that as a starting point, and I added some other layers. So this was the Brahm sound. That's me. Oh, because I bounced it all out. But I added this bass, this metallic hit, this flow impact, and this noise sweep to have this sound. And now I'm just using that to build out tracks. So if that helps, Soul Tapes. The other sounds of percussion is Damage 1, Damage 2, and LA Modern Percussion. These strings are free strings from Heaviosity Foundations called staccato strings. You can get them for free, and I think it does require the full version of Contact. I think I had my mic muted when I said like a bunch of comments recently, but added in some Keep Forest Ferrum hits. Um, let's see. Can we do a riser and vital? Okay, I'm gonna do another one. We'll call this riser, and I'm gonna go back to ChatGPT. So in vital, I will go to the initialized preset, which is search INIT. Can I type in? I can't type in the search. I want to preset browser. Or you know what? Let's go here. AU presets. Where is? I want to get to the initialized preset. I want to erase everything, basically. That one I can't find. I do see it here, but cancel. And I could actually save my preset. Error opening preset. Okay, that's a problem. I could save my preset actually. Let's call this the finger. Oh, let's call this Brahm, and I'm gonna call this the Fingaz Brahm. This would be bass sound effects. It's almost bass. Can I do both? Nope, I can do one or the other. It's not exactly bass. I'll go sound effects, keys, lead. Let's see. ChatGPT settings for Brahm sound. And I think the family is home. So you know what? I'm going to end it here because I got to go hang out with the family. But hopefully this gives you some idea of how you can use the Vital Synth or Serum or ChatGPT to create custom sound design, things like that. I might do another episode making a riser or some other sound effects. So got to go hang out with the family. But it is what it is. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check the description for all kinds of things that I use for music production. And I will see you in the next episode of Syncrets To Success. All right. Peace.